So let's jump straight in where we finished off. So in the last video, all we had left to do was the front bumper corner and a little repair on the pillar and a few other little odd jobs to the car after we'd got the main bulk of the paintwork and everything finished off. So there's a slight little crack in the bumper here, so we're just using a hot melt stapler just to go in and repair the crack on this bumper. So we're going to put a couple of staples in there first just to make sure that that crack is nice and solid again. We're then going to use a little 3-inch cut off tool just to take the tops of the pins off and just to grind them down slightly so they're just under the surface of the plastic. Now these staplers are extremely good, and to be honest you can get them pretty cheap these days as well, and they're ideal for repairing really minute cracks like this. It was just a tiny little hairline crack. It's also got a little spreader attachment that we can use then to melt the existing plastic over where we've put the staples and also where the original crack was to seal everything up and repair this bumper back up nicely. Now once we've got all this melted and we've got everything back in the right shape and this crack sealed up, then obviously the first thing that we need to do is prep this corner up. So we're going to use a P180 on the sander. We're going to prep all this corner, get everything sanded up, and with it being plastic we can actually sand out a lot of these marks and scratches that were in this corner without having to actually use filler, and we only need to fill the last few little bits that are left and obviously where we've repaired the crack. Now for repairing this, I'm going to show you guys this new bit of kit that we've been sent out, which is a UV curing lamp. It's a very high powered, very quick UV curing system. It comes with the Nuva putties, which is the same firm that makes the lamp. It's an extremely good lamp, and from what I've found so far, the putties are also extremely good, but I will give a little bit more information on that soon. So in this kit it obviously comes with the safety glasses, the lamp itself, the charger and the lead. Now the lamp itself has got a very nice digital output on the back. It's very easy to use and quite simple to get the hang of in a matter of minutes. There's a very simple on off button on the top, and then you just press the green button on the back which will switch the lamp on. Now I've got this at the moment set to 1 minute, which I'll be honest with you is a little bit excessive for most things, but if you press the tool button you can switch it from manual to auto, so you can change the times, or you can just use it manually if you want to, and you do whatever time you want. And one simple press of the green button, that will start the automatic mode, which will then count down for that 60 seconds, and if you want to stop it you can just literally press the red button. Now the beauty of UV fillers, especially this time of the year when I've been doing this, it's like 30 degrees in the workshop, so conventional body filler can sometimes go off a little bit too fast, and also in the winter conventional body filler can go off a little bit too slowly. So for something like this little bumper corner where you're only using very small amounts, this is where UV products kind of come into their own and really do start to shine, because I can put a very small skim on here. It's not something that you can really load up, you just want a fine skim. I can then get the lamp out for 60 seconds and cure this straight off. The other beauty is the excess filler there, as you just saw, I can put back in the pot, and as long as I put the lid on it's not going to go off because it's in no direct sunlight. Just literally switch the lamp on the automatic mode, 60 seconds, and that 60 seconds spread across these different areas as well. It's not like I've gone for 60 seconds for every single patch, and we're cured and we're ready to sand straight away. Now these particular putties that came with this system are really good actually to sand with anything from like a 180. I mean, most of the work on this I actually did with a 240, and it sanded off really easily. Now you'll just notice there I've sprayed panel wipe over that corner and I'm just giving this putty a quick scrub. Now the reason for that is a lot of UV products do leave a slight residue on the surface, so you do need to get some acetone or something like that to just give them a quick scrub off. And then we're into basically repairing this bumper corner like a conventional bumper corner, but obviously our curing times come down for like 10 to 15 minutes to 60 seconds. So this is a massive time saver for little bumper corner jobs, little scuffs, little scratches, stuff like that. And we are looking soon at putting trying out some more UV primers and possibly even some UV clear coats, because I've noticed that MIPA and a few firms have got a lot of new products coming out in the UV range, so it enables shops like us to get little bumper corner jobs and little repairs like this done a lot faster and a lot more efficiently as well, which obviously the more jobs we can turn, then the more profitable we can make the shop. Okay, so the back end now is all back together. We've finished all the repair work on the back end. Everything's rebuilt. The only thing that we haven't put on yet is we haven't put the interior in the back, and also the number plate, but that's just immaterial. And I don't want to put the number plate on until we give it a full machine polish. So the last little bits that we need to sort out on the car are the bumper corner. That's all. You've just seen me repairing that, so that's all ready now, primed, blocked out and ready for paint. And then we've also got the pillar. On this side, it had a dent in the pillar, so we're just going to do a little blow in on the pillar and leave the clear up here and polish the clear in. That then will make this a nice, neat, tidy car. Once that's done, I'll run you guys through what we're going to do as the final part, which is going to be a full DA cut and polish on the car to give it a real nice gloss, because the existing paintwork on the car isn't the best. So a good DA polish will just sort that out, and then we'll get some shots of it all finished up. So I'm going to get on painting these bits, take you guys along with me, so I'll see you in a second. So jumping into the booth, we're just going to give this pillar a quick tack off, and we're just using the air from the spray gun just to make sure that any loose dust or any lint or anything that is on this corner is well out of the way. Now, I know a few of you guys might comment, well, you know, you should be wearing a paint suit and I should have gloves on. No offense, but this week, most days in the booth, I've struggled to spray in the booth with it being below 35 degrees C, which has been absolutely horrendous to try and paint in. So there was no way I was going in there fully suited and booted. Obviously, I've got my mask on, but at the moment, I am pretty much in shorts and t-shirt because it was just horrendous to paint in. So it's just one of them. At the end of the day, you know, the weather at the moment over in the UK is absolutely spanking hot, and for all of us this week, we've all been struggling a lot in this excess heat that we seem to have been having this week. The only bonus is it does make stuff dry very quickly and cuts down our curing times as far as paintwork goes. So for this, I'm using my Segola 4600 DVR Aqua. I'm using a solvent base on this car. It is a metallic, although I'll be honest with you, you really struggle to see the metallic in this. It's got the smallest amount of metallic in this ever. So it doesn't need a lot of blending whatsoever because it pretty much is just jet black base coat. So I'm just giving this one solid coat, and then I'm going back over it with a second nice wet coat, and I'm just giving it a light little feather at the ends. I'm not going mad as far as blends go. I don't need to blend it like I'm painting a silver or anything like that, because it just does not need hardly any blending whatsoever. I mean, we straight painted the back bumper on this, bolted it straight on the car, and it matches in absolutely spot on. There's no issues with that whatsoever. So it's a nice quick easy colour and nice two quick easy bits to actually come in the booth and paint. Obviously we want to make sure we get all the edges, because we're just doing a nice neat little bumper corner blow in on this part, but there really is nothing sort of fancy or technical to do in this with this sort of colour. You know, we just want to make sure we've got full coverage over our primary areas, and we've just got a slight little bit of a blend out on the edge of where we've coloured up to. Then I'm going to go out, I'm going to mix some clear up. We're going to get 2 coats of clear down on this. Now, it has been that hot this last couple of weeks, or especially this last sort of 10 days, that I can literally just put 2 coats of clear down, really nice, really heavy, really wet like I'm doing here, and I can just pretty much go back to back because it is excruciatingly hot in the spray booth at the moment. So for the clear stage, I'm using my Segola 4600 DVR clear, which is a 1.3 XL setup. I've got this running at 2 bar, full fan, and 2 turns out on the fluid. This again is the final systems clear that I've been having a play with. I will do a review on this soon for you guys, because I know a few of you have been interested in it. Again, the same as the last video, I'm running no reducer or thinner or anything in this, and I'm using a medium hardener, just because I find it dries off a lot better with a medium hardener as opposed to their fast or extra fast, which personally I feel makes this clear pull back a little bit. But if you're after the speed in the drying time, then it might not suit you doing it this way. You might prefer to use their fast or extra fast. I suppose it is personal preference. I would rather get a nicer gun finish that doesn't pull back. So on something like this, I can pretty much just polish out the blends on it and not really have to polish this bumper corner bar any little nibs, and not have to polish the pillar bar any little nibs. I'd rather do it that way, save myself some time and money for the shop, than go having to paint, polish the whole lot because it's all pulled back and lost a bit of its gloss when it's dried back. So before we continue, here's a little bit that I know some of you guys have been waiting for.
So this is the board that we're going to be giving away. So you guys will remember this from a previous video. It's the board that we metal flaked using the Flake King in that video. Now Rob from DreadFX Custom Paint has taken the board away. He's put this pretty sick design on it, added a spray gun holder to the bottom, and along in the box there is also an LED light that you can fit to the top of the board, so that when that's fitted to the top of the board, it'll light all the board up and obviously illuminate the spray gun at the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get hold of an iWater AZ3 HTES and add that to this giveaway along with the board. So if you guys want to enter, what you need to do is you need to be subscribed to my channel. You need to be subscribed to Rob's channel. The links will be in the description for this video below. You also need to leave a comment on my video. Now, if you don't leave a comment on the video, then I can't pick a winner from the video. So for everybody who comments on this video, you will be put into the draw, and I will work out a date in a second and put that on the screen here of when we will announce the winner for the board in a future video. Also, if you want to see how this board was created and how it came to life, Rob has just put up on his channel the whole video of him doing this and going through this process, so you can go over to Rob's video, check out his, and do give him a subscribe and give his video on this board a like as well. So at this stage we've got all the back end done. That's all finished up now. It's all been rebuilt, it's all been polished, and everything along there is looking nice and clean. Everything's fitting nice, everything's gapping nice, and everything's done. Now the other main issue after that with the car really was the paintwork on the rest of the car. So this side I've been across and I've given a DA polish already. And I'm just going to take a little bit of a run through for you guys of the DA polishing on the front. So if you can see, there's a few areas we've had to Trizac because they were quite heavily marked, but just even where we haven't Trizac, it's quite heavily scratched and quite heavily swirled. So as well as doing the polishing on the little bits that we painted in the last clip, I'm also going to DA over the rest of the car with our Auto Bright DA, just to make sure that everything's nice, everything's bright, everything's shiny again. We get rid of all those surface imperfections, so that when we give this a wax and give it a clean on the inside, it's going to be basically like a really mint used car then, rather than something that at the moment, with it being a black car and it having a lot of swirls, it looks quite tired. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a run through of the DA polishing on the bonnet, the heads and the polishes that I'm going to use, and then I'll do a little bit of time lapse of the rest of the car.
So after using this polisher for a while, I have found that the Roops DA Course head is my preferred head for the cutting stage. along with the Menzena Heavy Cut 400 compound. Now, I found that with DA polishers, this is the biggest part of the learning curve with DA polishers, is finding the right head and the right compound combination that works best for the task that you're doing. So for cutting, I have found that this works best. And if it was, say, a light cutting, or it was a slightly lighter coloured car, or it wasn't as heavily marked, I could go for a less coarse head, which would stop me having to do the second stage on this one. Because with this being a black, and I need to give this a really coarse cut, I'm using a really coarse pad with a really coarse compound. Now, I could use on a slightly lighter coloured car, or even on this black one, I could use a medium to soft head, like this particular one that I'm using to finish with now, and just go over it with that, and that would give me, if it was lightly marked, that would give me a really good gloss, and also not leave any swirl marks. But because that head is so coarse, I want to make sure that I use a nice soft head to finish. Now, a harsh cut and a nice soft finishing pad, you can see the difference between the two sides of that bonnet. A lot of people seem to think that DA polishers do not cut as well as a rotary polisher. Now, I have found that rotary polishers put a lot less heat into a panel. I find that there's a lot less risk on the panel edges and that sort of thing. And like I say, if you spend that little bit of time perfecting the heads that you're using, along with the compounds and the polishes that you're using, you can get just as good, if not better, finishes with a DA polisher like this, in the same amount or less time, I am finding. And 99% of the time, I don't have to do it in a two-head stage like this. I can just do a single-headed stage, do it with one head, one pass, one compound, and I don't have to worry about the swirl marks or anything like that anymore. So for me, it's a lot better, more efficient way of polishing a car.
So the car now is all rebuilt and all finished. We're giving it a full polish all the way around, so it now looks nice and fresh on the outside. We've given all the plastics and everything a good shine up. All the back end, obviously, we rebuilt. Everything lines up nice, everything's good, bar a little bit of dust on the back bumper. But apart from that, everything looks quite nice. So, cue the drone shots. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the series on this car. Don't forget, all the information for the giveaway will be in the description. Don't forget, you need to subscribe to my channel, you need to be subscribed to JedFX's channel, and also leave a comment on my video. If you don't leave a comment on my video, then you will not be entered into the draw. So that's it for today, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.